All right. Well, good evening, everybody. My name's AJ. I am a student here at Jackson University. I am a senior aviation management major with double minus in flight operations and naval science. I am also involved in the NROTC program over here. I am going to be your moderator for today. So without further ado, we're going to kick it off. Over here, we have a couple panelists all the way from fourth class over to first class that are in the unit at the moment. They're going to have some good feedback for you guys, and they're going to answer a couple of questions. But before we begin, we have Lieutenant Duarte. He's one of our naval science instructors within the unit. He's a surface officer by trade. He's going to introduce himself here shortly. And we also have Seamus Houlihan in the comments. He is one of the advisors or academic admission advisors that we have within the actual university. So if you guys have any questions, you can throw them up in the Q&A, and they'll be more than happy to answer them through there, or we can answer them live as well. So without further ado, I'll leave it over here to Lieutenant Duarte. He's going to do a brief presentation, then we're going to jump into a panel. Sir, all yours.
Good evening. So, like you mentioned, Lieutenant Luis Duarte, I am the freshman advisor, also the recruiting officer here for the NROTC unit at Jacksonville University. I'll do a brief presentation, then I'll kick it off to the panelists to answer any questions you may have. So the mission here for us is going to be three things: is to develop midshipmen mentally, morally, and physically. So mentally will be education-wise, you'll have to get a college degree. Morally, we have different training events that we'll have throughout the semester that you have to do, GMTs. As far as general military training, we'll also have different leadership training that we'll provide for you. Physically, we'll have PT twice a week at a minimum, so it'll be Mondays and Wednesdays, and we do have Thursdays available to the midshipmen as well to kind of enhance that program. Why we are here, the overall end goal is to commission at the end of the senior year, and we do have Navy options and Marine options that will be commissioning at the same exact time. Just a couple of different photos that you see in this slide here, as far as like the Navy nurses that we have available here. Right now we're up to 8. I know that picture has 6. We do have 8 in the unit at the moment. We do have an old course available, mostly used by the Marine options, but is available to the Navy options as well. The battalion picture there for 2023, it is a little bit larger now, but that is the one prior to graduation last year. For flag officers, we do bring different flag officers, generals to presentations, leadership briefs, and just talk to the battalion as a whole. And then we do have Mayport Naval Station and Naval Station Jacksonville in the area, all within 15 to 20 minutes from the campus. So we do take tours a lot. We do ship tours, either simulator tours, and we do have aviation tours as well available to us. And then color guard events, we do have quite a bit based on the veterans in the area. We do color guard events for veterans a lot. So ROTC by numbers, for this one, I'll just point out that there's 78 ROTC units throughout the nation. And we are actually the 4th largest. With right now, we have about 152 midshipmen in the unit. Like I mentioned, 104 Navy options, 41 Marine options, and 8 Navy nurses. And they're all spread out between JU and UNF. We do have FSCJ available to us as well, but at the moment we do not have any students there. Kind of staff, our CO is 06, Surface Warfare Officer, XO is 05, Commander, Naval Flight Officer, Drill Instructor, Master Sergeant Williams, and then we have Major Butterfield as the Marine Officer Instructor. We do have a LSC or a Logistics Specialist Chief, just in charge of like supply, uniform, stuff like that. Our submarine officers, Lieutenant Whalen, I myself am the Surface Warfare Officer, and we have a pilot, Lieutenant Maloney. We do have 2 civilians as well, Miss Wagstaff, who does all the medical paperwork, all the payments for the scholarship, and then Miss Tracy Joshua, who works for the school and is the liaison between the unit and the school. A couple of different options for coming into the program. First one is going to be the scholarship board. That one just concluded in the 31st of January, but they should be making one more board after this week. And then college program route is the other option available at the moment, which will essentially come as a walk-on, pay your way through a freshman year, and we will put you up for a scholarship at the end of the freshman year, as long as you meet the minimum requirement And then if that doesn't happen, we will put you in for a scholarship at the end of your sophomore year, um, as long as you meet the minimum requirements. That means 2.5 GPA, pass the fitness test, and you have not gotten in any trouble with the unit. As far as possibilities, over 100 port calls that you can make around the country, different cultures, and you'll be able to do a lot of different missions, some of them being up to top secret missions available to you. So NSL, this is just a week prior to starting school. We'll bring all the incoming students. We'll do some administrative check-in, provide some training. We'll do a fitness test and just make sure that you're ready to go for the following week for classes. I mentioned a couple of different options here for students. The scholarship students are going to be the ones coming in under scholarship. They're receiving full tuition and a book stipend. They get all their uniforms issued to them, and then the school here itself actually pays for the room and board and the meal plans as well. College program midshipmen will just receive uniforms. They are paying their way through the university on their own dime until they get under scholarship, either their sophomore or their junior year. That in addition to that, they have advanced standing, which is for juniors and seniors who still want to continue with the program, and they will continue paying their way through the last 2 years, and they will commission at the end of their senior year. Naval science students, these are students that are not in ROTC unit, but they are taking our classes. State 21 and Marine Enlisted Commission and Education Program students. These are partner listed members who will actually get their degrees here and then commission at the end of the program. Most of them are either going to be kind of senior and they've been around for a while, so that you do provide a lot of leadership stuff for us. And the last one I'll point out is the prep students, which are the NROTC preparatory program students. We do select up to 20 every year, but it is very competitive. We have this past year, we received over 70 applications. So it is a very competitive program to receive. That one is a 5-year program. The first year is paid by the university. The next 4 years will be covered by the scholarship. So for commissioning, you need at a minimum your bachelor's degree. You need 4 years worth of naval science courses, provide all the necessary military training. We will take care of that for you. And you do have some summer trainings that you will have to kind of do throughout the time. Every year is going to change a little bit, but you will have some required trainings over the summer. Everybody has to complete 1 year's worth of calculus, a year's worth of physics, 1 world culture class, 1 regional studies class, a year's worth of English prior to commissioning as well. Like I mentioned, PT will be Mondays and Wednesdays, and then an additional one available on Thursdays. So for the requirements, like I mentioned, 2.5 GPA, you have to pass a fitness test. We do 3 different fitness tests throughout the semester, but you are only required to pass the last one at the end of the semester. And if you fail more than 2 in a 3 year, more than 2 in a 3 year span, you will have to disenroll you from the program. As far as the change in majors, we do have to have tier 1 or tier 2. Those are all your STEM majors or science-based majors. We got to have 85% of those, and then the other tier 3 majors for liberal arts, business, and stuff like that will be available. So we'll go over the kind of life cycle. First, freshman year, before you come into the freshman year, you will go to NSI, which is like an introduction indoctrination class up in Great Lakes. And then they will there kind of, it's like a mini boot camp for 2.5 weeks. And then for the second summer here, you will go to Cortryman. Allows you to go a week with every community. So you'll spend a week with aviation, a week with subs, a week with surface warfare, and a week with the marine options, just to kind of see what everybody else is doing. Second class cruise, that is going to be about 2.5 weeks to 4 weeks. You will go on board a surface ship or a submarine, and you will follow an enlisted service member around just to get kind of the idea of what they do on a day-to-day basis. Your first class cruise, same amount of time, either 2.5 weeks to 4 weeks. You will follow a junior officer around and kind of get their day-to-day life. Service assignment. It's kind of important here, so you won't know what you're going to be doing in the Navy until your senior year. The reason why we underline assignment is because you're not going to necessarily get everything you want exactly once you get to your senior year. A lot of people do get their first choice, so anywhere between 85 to 90% of the students are going to get their first choice, and the rest will either get the second or the third choice. Very small amount of people will get anything lower than the third choice. But that is all going to be depending on your GPA, your fitness, and if you got in trouble within the unit. we will do rankings within the unit, and that will affect kind of your service assignment and where you're going to be going. So I will leave it up to questions now to the panelists.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so over here we have a couple cool people that are within the unit. So if you guys can turn on your cameras and unmute yourself, you're gonna introduce yourself really quick. So we can start with Midshipman Noble. You can introduce yourself, do a little what you're involved on campus, what your major is, and what your year is.
Hi, I am Midshipman Fourth Class Noble. I am a mechanical engineering major here at JU with a minor in naval science. I am the Robotics and Autonomous Systems Committee Chair for ASME here on campus, which is a mechanical engineering society. And I'm a tutor on campus as well, and involved in a couple other things. I am the only female midshipman on the panel tonight. So if you have any questions from the girls.
HP, take it away.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Kevin, or Midshipman Third Class Hernandez Perez. I'm a sophomore from Bradley Beach, New Jersey. I'm studying exercise science and a minor in naval science. That's the NROTC part. And then I'm also a part of Greek life and a part of 3 clubs: outing club, a skate club, and then I started up the wrestling club.
Jonah?
Hey everybody, my name is Jonah Brewer. I'm a midshipman second class here at JU. I'm a marine science major with double minors in naval science and physics. Apart from being in the unit, I'm also on the sailing team, and I'm also a student ambassador along with HP and AJ down there. And I'm involved in a lot on campus, all sorts of clubs and organizations, started a few myself. And I'm also from Jacksonville, so if you have any questions about the area, I can answer those.
Sweet. All right. Unfortunately, one of our midshipmen first class had to step away due to an emergency. So I'm going to be filling in for him. So I am midshipman first class Quinones. I am a senior here at Jacksonville University. I'm studying aviation management with minor in flight operations with a specific concentration in air traffic control. And yeah, I'm one of the student ambassadors here, like HB and Jonah. And then I got involved in a couple other stuff that we can talk a little bit more once we dive into these questions. So starting off with these questions, we're gonna do a little quick. How did you discover JU and why did you choose to come to JU? We can do Jonah, you can answer how did you discover JU, and HB, if you want to answer why did you choose JU?
Well, for me, like I said before, I'm from Jacksonville, so I always kind of knew that JU was like around. It wasn't really on my radar though. I didn't really want to go to a school that was in the city that I grew up in. I kind of wanted to get out. And I applied for the scholarship before my freshman year and actually didn't receive it. So I joined the unit as a college programmer as a freshman. And I came here actually because it was the cheapest, to be completely honest with you. I got a really good merit scholarship. JU helped me out a lot my freshman year. So got to live on campus, and then worked hard my freshman year and ended up picking up a 3-year side load scholarship. So that's like how I'm still here now. And I did have the option to kind of like change up schools if I wanted to, but I already had my roots here. I really like it a lot. I can't believe it wasn't my first choice school when I was looking for schools in high school. So that's kind of why I stayed.
All right.
All right, and then so I actually didn't even know JU existed, but when I did find out, I chose JU because I wanted to go to a college where it was close to the beach. Because as I said, I'm from a beach town, so I wanted to be close to the beach so that I could go there anytime. I lived there my whole life, so it's pretty much my happy place. And I also thought it'd be pretty cool, being from New Jersey, to come down to Florida because I was pretty much tired of the cold. So I wanted to come down to the warm weather, 24/7 warm weather. I also looked on like images just about JU, and I saw like the campus, and I personally thought it looked really beautiful because of all the nature and the St. John's River just being on the campus. But that pretty much sums it up. That's why I chose JU.
Sweet. All right. So I'm gonna leave this kind of question for everybody to kind of answer. So what are some of you guys' highlights within the classroom here at JU? You want to go, Noble?
Yeah, sure, I'll go. I think that probably my highlight, I'm a mechanical engineering major, but I came in with a lot of credits. So I'm at about a junior level. And my current favorite class would have to be thermodynamics. I am we have a really interesting professor. He is a former submarine officer, and he has a whole bunch of energy. His name is Captain Dinius. And he makes the whole classroom experience really fun. It's really hands-on. And we're doing a lot of really interesting things in there. I didn't know you could burn water, but apparently you can. So that the professors here are really, really great. They put a lot of care and thought into each and every one of their students. They want to help you out in any way they can. I've never had a professor that didn't have office hours, or a professor that wouldn't meet with you outside of them either. So that's definitely a plus. I think JU has an 8-to-1 student teacher ratio, which is really great coming from someone who went to Ohio State for a little while, which is like 24-to-1, which is insane.
Sweet. All right, so I can talk a little bit mine as well. I started off as an aviation management and flight operations major, so I gotta say one of my highlights in the classroom, well, I don't know if you could call it a classroom, but it was in the aircraft. So we had our little regular flight lessons that we do. So one of my favorites was my solo. So the instructor came in, flew with me a couple of patterns, and they just gave me the keys to the aircraft, and I just went and flew by myself. So if any of you guys that are here interested in aviation, please recommend that you send us any questions you might have as well. But yeah, really cool, really hands-on. You'll find that with kind of every major here that you, if you decide to go to JU, it could be either marine science or mechanical engineering or anything like that, or aviation as well. So all of them have really great opportunities, and definitely recommend that you go and check those out. HP, Jonah, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I can. In terms of classroom experience, I know the aviators, they get to, they get to fly around a lot, but as a marine science major, we're hitting the water all the time. We're out of the classroom almost every week, I'd say, even in our intro classes. We have a research vessel called the Larkin. It's a pontoon boat. It's like our floating classroom. We go out on the river all the time. We have like cranes that we can dredge with, and we have like a little table that we can pour water into and like kind of look at what we find in the in the St. John's. But then we also do a lot of trips off campus to like the beach and stuff like that during beach surveys. For my marine ecology class, which is a little bit of an upper level course, but still most marine science majors take it. Our professor took us on a 5-day camping trip to the Fort Pierce area, and every single day we were just at the beach looking at critters, seeing what we could find, messing around in the water. I did some scuba diving. And then at night we were just camping, had fires, got to know everybody in our class, our professors really well, and made really good bonds. And those bonds can really take you far, especially for like letters of recommendation, and getting to know people for internships and stuff in the future.
Sweet. So I know we just talked about obviously the classroom experience. Can you guys tell a little bit more about how your relationship is with your instructors? It could be either, in your regular classes, and I know you guys already talked about it, but mainly within the unit, and how our NSI has helped us out on like a day-to-day basis. Noble, you want to go ahead, or HP? You guys have it.
Want to go, Noble, or I can go if you don't want to go.
You haven't talked yet. You do.
I'll go. Okay. So my instructors are a little bit different than the rest of the people here. I'm a Marine option, and then the rest of everyone else here is a Navy option. So I am like I only have like 2 instructors technically, one AMOI and then one MOI. So I have Master and Williams, and then Major Butterfield if you guys saw them on the presentation. But the way we interact with them is it's professional. It's a professional and military manner, which is pretty much what you're expecting of because it's the RTC building. But I think the relationship you have with them is sort of unique because they have years of experience in the fleet. For example, Master Sergeant Williams, he has around like 18 or 19 years in the Marine Corps, and you have this easy, accessible like knowledge that you can like talk to, or any questions you can think of, you can go to them always, anytime you always want to talk to them, and you can pick their brain, which I think is pretty cool, just because like who else has that opportunity to like know all this knowledge. Um, but I think that's what's pretty cool about the relationship that I have with my instructors.
All right, I guess I'll go a little bit too. So from a senior perspective and about to commission, I can say that it's absolutely amazing the staff that we have within the unit. They're able to help you out like basically anytime during the day, obviously as long as they're in the office, and if you send them a text, usually they'll get back to you pretty quick. But they're so successful. They have a wealth of experience in their fields, obviously coming from the fleet. So they know what they're talking about, and they have an open door policy as well. So you can go talk to them anytime with any concerns you have with your classes, with your regular career or anything like that. They'll be able to help you out. So they're really, really solid people. Another thing is that we have instructors from basically every unrestricted line community in the Navy with a few exceptions. So with our surface warfare officer, Lieutenant Duarte, we have Lieutenant Maloney as an aviation warfare officer. And then we have Lieutenant Whalen, who's going to be shortly being replaced right now with another submarine officer. So you really have basically everything you need to know about the fleet within this building right here. So it's really, really amazing that we have those opportunities. And also, you know, being in the area that we are, being surrounded by naval bases, that actually helps out quite a bit too. So yeah, nobody, you guys have anything else to add for that?
As far as
Oh, sorry, no, but you go ahead. You go ahead.
As far as being around naval bases, I think that all of the instructors are really, really great about providing all of the midshipmen with opportunities to kind of do different tours, different events. Personally, I did the fire simulator last semester, which was really fun. You get to like pretend that you're walking into a burning ship and there's actual fire, and they train you, and that was a really neat opportunity. We did Mayport Mud Run as well, which is a really fun event that we do every year. So there's a lot of opportunities to kind of involve yourself in both fun and professional stuff, like learning about the fleet and really understand like exactly what you want to do in the fleet, and get opportunities to see all of your options.
Sweet. All right. So moving on to the next question. I know that you guys mentioned before you guys are involved in a bunch of different stuff on campus. So how do you balance school, different clubs, organizations with your NROTC kind of workload as well?
I, being someone who's involved in a lot on campus, I think that the school breeds a really good attitude about kind of being able to do whatever you want, no matter what program you're a part of. And I think all of the clubs and organizations and sports and everything all have a pretty good idea, of kind of the situation that everybody's in, especially in ROTC. I'm on the sailing team as well, so I'm a part of athletics, and I have never been like pressured to do the sport over ROTC. And I think that goes for a lot of different organizations as well, because everybody understands that if we're in this program, if we're on scholarship and we're on track to commission, that this is kind of going to be our number one priority. Like, we are doing well in school to up our class rank, and we are doing this because we know that is going to be our career. And so nothing really not much on campus really trumps what we're doing here. And that kind of gives you the ability to kind of stack on and customize your experience here. Everyone wants you to be a well-rounded person. Everybody wants you to have a really strong resume. So if that means starting new clubs, or joining a bunch of different clubs, or adding a sport, or doing an intramural, or getting involved in leadership outside of ROTC, then so be it. That's how it is. Everybody's very understanding. If you have to miss something, if you have to be late to something, just let everybody know in time, and usually it's not really a problem. So I've never had an issue with wanting to add anything or subtract anything from my schedule, which is really nice.
Great. All right, Noble, you got anything else? Or you guys can mention also your actual clubs and anything, and you guys already mentioned it in the intro, but HB, go ahead.
I do have one thing to say, or a couple things to say. So my freshman year, when I was a freshman, we had someone named Lieutenant Vega. He's no longer here. Now it's Lieutenant Maloney. But one of the assignments was to create a schedule for your whole semester of like events that you're doing. So you would be like PT Monday morning, Wednesday morning, and you just create your whole day. And I found this to be like extremely helpful. This is probably like one of the key advices I'm going to give. This is probably one of the key advices, just because I still do that as a sophomore now, and that's what helps me keep a like healthy relationship with RTC, doing stuff outside like Greek life or clubs or classes, or finding study time, or finding my time to go run, to go to the gym, to do anything So I think that scheduling is a huge part in like having and maintaining a relationship with the unit and just with school in general.
And just kind of like following what HP said, I mean, we're in college, right? So you're a regular college student, which is a little bit different if you decide to go to like a naval academy or something like that, or kind of like your military institutes where your kind of freedom is very, very limited and very managed by your superior. So having the freedom to do whatever you want, and obviously in college, it's kind of can be a little bit nerve-wracking sometimes just because you have a lot of time in your hands that sometimes you might not know what to do, or you decide not to study, or not supposed to do stuff you're not supposed to do, right? So it's really cool that we have our own schedule. We can make our own schedule, obviously, and do really cool things on the weekends, and a lot of cool trips and stuff like that other people are not, unfortunately, not have the opportunity to do if you decide to go attend a naval academy or something like that. So I feel like it does make you more well-rounded individual and officer as well, just because you're able to manage your time a little bit better, and have a little bit more responsibility sometimes, which is really, really cool. All right, so that kind of ends the regular line of questioning. Do you guys have any advice or any recommendations for these students that are here in the panel, to just kind of give them some advice in their college selection and their unit selection going forward? We can start with you, Jonah.
Yeah. So I think that a good piece of advice to follow is to, I mean, it sounds a little corny, but to honestly follow your heart. Visit as many schools as you can. If you applied for the scholarship and you got it, then they apply that scholarship to that first choice school, and you have to get into that school. So if you got in and you're going there and you know where you're going, that's great. But if you're still looking around for colleges, visit as many as you can. And sometimes, just stepping on the campus, you're gonna know what feels right. Also, it's a very unique opportunity that if you're on scholarship, you kind of get to pick, for the most part, whatever major you want. Like a lot of people probably, won't get the opportunity to use their major to the fullest extent once they're in the fleet. Probably, like if I end up in aviation, I'm not going to use my marine science degree for much, probably. But it's what I'm really interested in. It's what I really like studying. So take advantage of that opportunity, and don't do something that is going to be an easy A, or something that is going to not benefit you in the long run, because you're going to be here for 4 years, and even though you're going to be doing ROTC stuff, you want to enjoy what you're studying as well, because that's the majority of your school here. So pick somewhere with a good program for whatever you want to do, for sure.
Noble HP, you guys have anything to add to that? That was pretty good advice.
I mean, I can add on to that. So from what he said, like, go visit colleges. I think I agree with that. And then after that, like, think of, like, can I see myself being at this college? Can I see myself living here, sleeping here, eating here, doing everything on this campus at this unit? Once you know if, like, the unit, how like the environment is at the unit and just in school in general, because it's not just all unit, because you have enough time for your own time, for your own stuff at the school. So don't, like, think about both, think about balancing, and just, like, think, can I see myself around here? I think that's my only advice for picking a college.
Noble, since you're kind of the newer addition to the unit, into this college, so do you have anything advice or anything that you might regret, or anything you might suggest to the students coming in?
I am very, very happy with my choice to come to JU. I did not know about it until March of last year, so about a year ago now. But I immediately knew that this was where I wanted to go to school. Absolutely, for sure. Really just like follow your gut feeling as to where you want to go. And even necessarily, like, maybe it's not like the absolutely top rated program, but we have some absolutely fantastic professors. And I think that JU, like, when you look at it on like US News and all of that, it's a little bit undervalued for what you actually get out of your education here. So I would definitely recommend coming to JU, and we pay for your room and board, which is a fun little perk that most schools don't have. Yeah, I love being by the beach. I love being here at JU. And so definitely follow your heart and stay organized once you get here or to any other school. I carry around this bright blue paper planner everywhere I go, to make sure that like I stay like caught up with everything, because there definitely is a balance for like taking time for yourself and studying. So just make sure you're on that right off the bat.
Sweet. All right. So I don't know if you guys had any questions or anything like that. So I'm gonna give you guys about another 3 to 2 minutes. If you can pop the questions in the Q&A. If not, we're gonna assume they answer all of your questions, and we did an absolute great job. So we'll give you guys that time. But if you guys don't come up with anything here, remember you can always kind of contact our office, both within the unit and the admissions department, if you have anything else or anything that pops into your mind that you want to ask. All right. But with that being said, you have one. So would
What?
it be considered the college program or no? Yes. NPP
No.
NPP are not college programmers. So I can talk to, so college programmers are a little bit different. I was a college programmer, so I picked up advanced standing. So college programmer life is a little bit harder than your scholarship life. So basically we have to pay our own way through college, hoping we pick up a 3-year national scholarship, a 3 national scholarship, or advanced standing. So that's kind of how it works for us. NPP is a little bit different. Noble, I believe, are you NPP?
I am not. No, I'm on a national scholarship.
National scholarship. Okay. Jonah, you want to talk about NPP really quick? Or
Yeah, either me or Lieutenant Duarte can. I was a college programmer as well, but me and Lieutenant Duarte kind of oversee a lot of the MPP students. So they are in a little bit of a different category. They're not all the way on a national scholarship, and they're not all the way college programmers. Their school is getting paid for, but it's by the school. Their standards are a little bit higher than a normal scholarship student, so they have a little bit higher PT standards and GPA standards. It's 2.8 GPA. And if they get through their first year without any problems, then they kind of just pick up a 4-year scholarship automatically. A college programmer is someone that comes in with 0 scholarship, has to pay themselves for school, just kind of like any other student. And then they can put in an application for a 3-year or then a 2-year scholarship in order to pick it up in order to commission. But you cannot commission as a college programmer. You can't even make it to your senior year as a college programmer. So in order to commission, you have to be on scholarship or advanced standing, which is a little bit different. Anything else to add, Lieutenant Duarte?
So yeah, the big difference is, so NPP, you're not paying anything. School's paying everything, kind of like they mentioned. But we do big thing that it is, NPP is going to be targeted to people who apply for the scholarship or were close to getting the scholarship, but they necessarily didn't either get the perfect GPA for the scholarship, or they were just short on the SAT scores. Maybe they had to work through high school, or they had a rougher upbringing. So it kind of opens up to that community, kind of giving them an opportunity to kind of prove themselves, similar to what the academy does. They give them a first year to kind of prove themselves and then get the scholarship after that. So that's kind of the idea behind MPP.
The next question is, are there any clubs or organizations within NROTC? The answer is yes. So we have kind of like the bigger ones. We have our Surface Warfare Club or SWO Club, Aviation Club, and then Submarine Club, as well as I believe they started a nursing club as well right now, as well as a color guard. Those are kind of like the big ticket items that we have. You can join any of those. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go through any of those communities. It just gives you a little bit more exposure. They'll do little talks and basically inform you about the community, and sometimes with the cool tours, either to Naval Station, Mayport, to do ship tours, or to go to Naval Air Station Jacksonville to do P8 tours or helicopter tours over at Mayport as well. So question asking about, is everything covered? Uniforms, books, tuition, and housing. Yes, everything is covered under any of the basically NPP, national scholarship, and what am I missing? Yeah.
Books. Books you'll pay for. If you're on scholarship, you'll pay for your books at first, and then the scholarship will kind of send you like a book stipend, which would reimburse you for the entire thing. JU offers something called the book bundle, where I don't know why you wouldn't opt in for it. It's $350, and it pays you a rental fee for all the books you need for the semester. And then like later on in the semester, the Navy, if you're on scholarship, will reimburse you $375 as a book stipend. So you actually will make $25 off of it if you do the book bundle, which is nice.
So I do want to clarify that the Navy itself is only paying for the tuition and the book stipend. So if you go to a different university, you might not get the housing, you might not get the meal plans covered. This is just a JU specific thing. So other schools, you can use the scholarship for either tuition or you can use it for the room and board up to $11,000 a semester, or correction, a year. But for JU specifically, the Navy will cover the tuition and the book stipend. And JU kind of has an agreement, and they cover the room and board and the meal plans. So don't think that that's going to be, if you take the scholarship to a different school, it's going to be the same thing. That's specific to JU only. For the boards, how many boards are left for scholarship? There are 2 boards left. There's one going on right now, and then there will be one at the very beginning of April, if I remember correctly, and that will be the last one. So by the end of April, there will be no more ROTC scholarship boards.
For best part of being an aviation student, it's pretty simple. You get to fly if you're an ABO. It doesn't get much cooler than that. But I'm gonna be more, if you reach out to our office, we can talk a little bit more about the aviation program. Noble, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I am actually in the JU honors program. I got the honor scholarship and all of that. As far as the time commitment for honors goes, there's a couple different requirements for like what you have to do. Your freshman year, the first semester of your freshman year, you're going to take something called honors colloquium. It's a 3 credit hour class. It replaces your freshman experience class. And basically you do some service learning and you kind of talk about like being an honor student at JU. Easy GPA booster, shouldn't worry about that at all. After that, you do have to take, I believe it's 15, maybe it's 20 credit hours of honors classes here at JU. They have a whole bunch of different honors classes for you to take as far as general education and depending on your major. So you shouldn't have any trouble integrating those into your schedule. But if you do, you can honorize classes. And so they make it really easy on you. You got to do an internship at some point while you're here. I'm doing mine right now. I know that a lot of midshipmen kind of have some trouble getting that in with summer cruises, but I think it's definitely doable based on your major. And if you're doing nursing, then I know that nursing has a lot of ones during the school year with the Mayo Clinic, and you could definitely get that done. It's not an extra huge time commitment. I think it's totally doable in order to be an honor student with NROTC, and it balances really nicely.
Cool. I'll take the next one. So it says this is all midshipmen, but I'll start about the summer training experiences. They said, were they considered fun and helpful experience-wise? The answer is yes. So like I said, I was a college programmer. So I didn't get to go on summer cruise my first year. So I actually went to NSI, which is like the kind of mini boot camp at Naval Station Great Lakes. I did that between my freshman and sophomore year. And then last summer I did Quartermid, which is that 4-year kind of multi experience month, which was a ton of fun. Normally you do that between your freshman and sophomore year, but I did it last year between my junior and senior year. I spent a month out in San Diego, just kind of seeing what the Navy had to offer. We spent a week with each community, did some cool stuff. Camp Pendleton with the Marines, kind of shooting guns and looking at all their stuff. Spent a week with the aviators and got to go up in a plane with an F-18 pilot, which was really cool as well. Got to take pictures the entire time. Not like boot camp, like where they're screaming at you the whole time. Like it's meant for you to kind of see what every community is like. And they make it really, really fun for you. And every day you have leave, you get to go out, export San Diego every weekend, got to go surfing, got to, go around and eat a bunch of good food on the Navy's dime. So that was a lot of fun. And then I'm sure AJ can kind of talk about cruises a little bit too.
Yeah, so unfortunately, being an advanced setting student, I didn't get to do my second class cruise, which would have been extremely helpful for me as a future surface warfare officer. So I did my first class cruise in a aviation squadron over here at Mayport, HSM-50, the Valkyrie. So really, really fun time. You get to be with a squadron. You're attached to basically an officer. You're flying around and basically asking any question you might have. And then got to flew a bunch of times, actually flew the helos, which is really cool. And got to do some swim training with the A-dubs, which are the rescue swimmers. Got pretended to be a dead person in the water and just kind of punch them in the face if they if they try to grab me, just to help them practice. It's really cool stuff. Yeah, so summer cruises are very, very helpful. Make sure you make the most of them. Ask as many questions to everybody, both enlisted and officers within the community. So you'll learn a lot. And obviously for HP, you can take it ahead. But you guys, this is a little bit different for your summer cruise.
Yeah, did you want me to talk on that or no?
Yeah, you can talk about OCS.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. The only summer training we actually share with the Navy options is the first one, Quartermid. So after that, you're doing like other Marine Corps trainings. So your second year, you're gonna do something called FMF, which is Fleet Marine Force. So you're gonna spend a month in either Camp Pendleton or Camp Lejeune, and you're there for a month just doing like Marine stuff. Like it's I get pretty excited talking about it. I just think about it, makes it sound so cool. I haven't gone yet. That's this summer for me. I just did Quartermid. But it's basically like you just do a ton of Marine stuff. You go and sleep in like maybe like you sleep in the woods, like in the dirt, you get dirty, you eat MREs, like think of like Marine stuff. That's pretty much what we're doing for like a month. Shooting guns, stuff like that, learning land navigation, all this stuff. Just to prepare you for OCS, which is the last the last summer training. So it goes Quartermid, FMF, and then OCS, which for us, that's our boot camp. So we have to go through a boot camp, and this is 8 weeks long, and that's where you earn the title of Marines. So if you look at my camis, it says my last name, but it won't say U.S. Marines. Versus for the Navy side, for like any like the Navy go here, it'll say their last name and the U.S. Navy. We don't earn that. We didn't earn the title yet of U.S. Marine. That's when we go to OCS. We're in that title after if we complete OCS. So pretty much you're also this program is to help you prepare for OCS so you can pass that. But that is our process if any of you are interested in Marine options. Also, another thing that you can talk that we said is NSI. So you have to go NSI before you get here. You can also go back to NSI as a midshipman instructor, and then there you can pretty much be on the other side of the spectrum. So instead of being yelled at, you're now the one like contributing to the yelling. I'm sure AJ, you could talk on this. You actually did it, so you want to do that?
Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but if you guys have any more questions, you can contact our office or contact the NROTC unit, and we would be more than happy to answer them. Come here to Jacksonville, go get a tour of the university and the unit, and we'd be more than happy to help you. So hopefully we'll see you guys here in maybe a semester or so. But if not, thank you guys for attending. Thank you, the panelists. Thank you, Lieutenant Duarte and Seamus for attending and answering questions. But yeah, have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you.